4 tips I wish I had known when I was first installing clip-in hair extensions. As you will have probably seen on my channel, I love to wear a clip-in hair extension, but I have some tips for you on how to install them on your own head. I'm a licensed hairstylist, so I've installed extensions on my clients professionally, but I know we all love a clip-in hair extension moment at home, and so I have some tips and tricks for you on how to just get the best results. My first tip is getting the perfect color match for you. I'm sure we've all been walking on a street and we look at somebody's head and we see where the hair extensions stop and where their hair begins, and it just looks disconnected, and right away it screams fake hair. So a few brands that I love to use for hair extensions that I've tried over the years is Bellamy hair extensions. Their hair quality is amazing. BFB hair extensions are great, and they have a ton of blonde shades as well. And recently I've been using this brand called KB hair extensions, which ship internationally. They're based in the UK, but they ship to everywhere. And this is one of their red shades that literally is the exact color of my head. I know as a redhead it can be hard to find a perfect blend, so currently I've been using the KB hair extensions, and then I also use BFB hair, which you'll see might be a bit more red than my hair, but once it's in it still blends, and sometimes I mix the two. One of the hardest shades to match, I always thought as a stylist, was blonde, because there is a ton of variation of blonde. So if you buy a color and you feel like it's close to yours but it's still a bit off, sorry about that, I always recommend going to your hairstylist and having them custom color them to your head, or installing them and then toning them to your hair. So once you have your perfect color match, we're ready to go on to the next tip. Tip number 2 is the cut of your hair as well as the cut of your extensions. If you've ever received a clip-in set, you know all of them come quite wispy at the ends, and what I usually like to do is I will give them a good cut on the ends to be blunt, so that way when they're in my hair they hang nice and full at the ends. If you are wearing your clip-in extensions all the way to the front of your head, I always recommend making sure you add face framing into your clip-in extensions. You can even number your clip-in extensions on the back by maybe writing a little number with a Sharpie so you know where the placement is, so that way when they're all in, just trimming them and cutting them. If you don't feel comfortable with cutting your extensions, your hairstylist can do it for you so easily. Have them just install and trim. The biggest thing I would say is trimming those ends once they're installed, and then layering and face framing in the front to give the most natural feel. I also feel for haircuts for myself, what matches my extensions really well is I still have my ends, you know, pretty blunt, but I have layers throughout, I have face framing, and I never have chopped off my hair majorly when trying to wear clip-ins. If you have a really blunt cut, it will be the hardest to blend your clip-in extensions, but it's not impossible. If you want to make a full video on how to blend extensions when you have a really blunt cut, I can, but just for the average extension wearer, I would say face framing and making sure you trim those ends. My extension wearing purposes, I am mostly adding volume and length to my hair, so I don't actually use a ton of clips in my head, but I'm going to show you, if you have similar hair to me, how to just get a natural looking extension install. So I'm first going to start with the 2 clip at the bottom nape of my neck. So I sectioned off this little piece of hair. This section is pretty much straight across. And my next tip is all about the install and about adding texture to your root area. So if your hair is freshly clean and you try to install a clip that looks like this, a lot of times it just slides, it moves too much. So my tip is to take either the combination of hairspray and dry shampoo, spray it at your root, or if you have a texture spray like a texture spray by Unite or IGK or brands such as that, you can take that and just spray it at your root and rub it in. What this does is it gives your hair some natural texture, because you need that bit of grip. I personally, and I'm just gonna brush it through, I personally don't prefer teasing my hair, as I feel it pulls my head too much. So I'm just going to now take my clip, slide that in there, and it just gives it some extra grit, essentially, and grip to hold on to without pulling and without sliding around. First clip just went in super easily, and as you'll see, it just blends right in. They are waved previously from yesterday. The next few sections, I love to do a horseshoe, which means more of a U-shaped. So I'll start right above my ears and I will slightly curve down. I don't like my sections to be super straight across, besides that maybe that section at the nape, because it hangs more naturally when you have a bit of a curve in your sectioning. When I install sew-ins to a client, it's always in a U shape. We never part in a line because the head is circular, it is round, so it hangs better when you have that round shape also in your sectioning, and it hides your extensions the best. I usually would just take 2-3 clips and place those basically directly on top of each other, but I think today I might mix in a little bit of this hair extension brand. So these are the KB hair extensions, but I think I might mix in one of the BFB hair fill-ins. So this set I have just comes with 2 clips, and these are just fill-ins. It's just to add volume. This is the full like deluxe clip-in set. I just don't use all the clips because I don't need them all, but if you need it because your hair's shorter or whatever, they comes with lots and lots of clips. But I mostly use from KB hair extensions, the 2 clip and then the 2-3 clips, and I've cut those ones to my hair. But because we're feeling like a little added volume, let's clip this one in and it will still blend and just add some thickness. Okay, so I've just added in that second clip. I'll show you. You'll see it just sits right in there. That is the KB hair extension. So I'm gonna have one of the fill-ins left over and one of the KBs because this is just enough hair for me. And I will then take this top section down. Every time I install those rows, I did the hairspray and dry shampoo just to give it some extra grip. And then the last tip is always styling. So getting hair extensions to blend with your natural hair, it all comes down to styling. Hair extensions will have the hardest time blending when they are perfectly straight. If your hair extensions blend perfectly when your hair is straight, that is amazing. Love that for you. A lot of times you need a little texture. So as you can see, my hair is waved. I actually need to go and wave this section in here because it was straight. But I had this other hair in yesterday, so I had waved it, and it gives it a really nice natural blend. Otherwise, curling your hair is amazing, giving yourself some beachy waves, or just using a waver. This is a waver from Amazon, which is linked in my link tree. Okay, so I just waved those few pieces in there, so now the blend is seamless and perfect. You can't tell what's extensions and what is my hair, which is what you want with extensions, so please feel free to leave any comments down below if anything was too vague or didn't make sense, or you have any questions at all, because I reply to comments. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. And please also, if you have any videos you want me to make in the future, comment those down below. I hope this is helpful on your journey to installing clip-in extensions in the most perfect, seamless way that nobody would ever be able to tell. All right, bye guys.